Welcome back to my little corner of the internet. My name is Anastasia and I read. So today I thought it'd be nice for us to talk about the books that I want to finish before 2025 finishes me. And baby, let me tell you, 2025 has been a year and she is trying to take me out. I am a hardworking girl. And I am doing my very best, but when I tell you that I girl bossed too close to the sun and my ass is getting burned, it's happening. So this was a very, very, very busy week for me and my day job, because I do have one of those. And so I know I am filming this a little late. I know everybody got their 10 before the end a little bit sooner, but you know what? We're here. Okay, I have way more than 10 books to discuss, but we're here. We'll do it. And to be honest with you, I kind of already been working with this 10 before the end, if you know what I mean. So I've actually started a bunch of them. Thank God, because it's like the end of November. I blinked and November was gone. Like it was November 1st, there was a blink, and now it's like gone. It's like Christmas is tomorrow. There's not a tree in sight here yet, but Christmas is tomorrow. So just taking that all in. But anyways, I thought it'd be nice to go through my kind of like the end of the year TBR. Now, I have to give a disclaimer here. Okay, story time with Anastasia. So basically, I love a TBR. I love the concept of a TBR. Let me put it that way. I watch a lot of YouTubers and, I adore watching them do a TBR. I love it. Everyone is so creative, right? Like they've got the TBR jars with the prompts. I technically have one here that I've been meaning to put together, but where to find the time? You've got people that do like board games or spin the bottle, or they ask for prompts from Instagram. It's adorable. I love the concept. They even have like cards now like they pick prompts for you. It's adorable. I love it. I love to watch me a good TBR video. However, TBRs don't really exist in my world. Like, I mean well, I want there to be a TBR. I want to stick to a TBR, but because I am an extreme mood reader, it just doesn't work for me. So I try. I really do. I want you to know that I try to do the whole TBR thing. I will come down here when I'm in good spirits and I will pick a bunch of books and I will take them upstairs to my TBR cart that is by my bed purposely. So it's the first thing I see when I wake up and the last thing I see when I go to bed. So that way I can, pick and choose what I want to read for the day. And lo and behold, because I'm such a mood reader, chances are the books that I read for the month are not going to be what's on that card. Something takes over me. I have to come back down here, pick something else. It's a thing, okay? It's a thing. I think people who are extreme mood readers like me get it, right? Like, you get it. I've tried. I want to be a TBR girl. I know it's not going to work. But here I am trying this anyways, because why not? So rule number 1 as an extreme mood reader is that I don't know what mood I'm going to be in tomorrow or later today, in an hour. I don't know what mood I'm going to be in an hour. So I may choose a book right now and then in an hour decide after a few chapters I'm going to just completely switch it up. And I do that all the time. So rule number 1 for me is that I'm always juggling multiple books at the same time. Like currently I'm reading 3 of the books that is on this end of the year TBR. And they're all different genres. And I pick one when I'm feeling that, and then I switch it up sometimes in the same day to something else. But that's always, I'm juggling usually anywhere from like 3 to 5 books at the same time, because I don't know what I'm going to feel like reading. And they're all different genres, right? So it really just depends on my mood in that moment. The second rule that I give myself is I used to be one of those girlies that would ride or die to finish a book. It was like in my DNA that I was just like, I bought this book. This book is taking me out. I can't stand it right now, but I'm gonna finish it. And that that led to a lot of problems, right? That led to me possibly giving this book that I forced myself to read a lower rating that it actually deserved because I just couldn't deal with it in that moment. And it also leads to like reading slumps. And we try to avoid that in these parts because my TBR really, like the books on these shelves that I need to read it's a lot. So I try not to fully force myself to read a book if I'm not feeling it. So what I will do is I will soft DNF. I will soft DNF now. Sometimes if it's rare, but sometimes I'll full DNF, but I will soft DNF if I have to. I've done it like 3-4 times this year and I don't feel bad about it, right? Because I'm preserving my ability to continue to consume some content, because if I forced myself to read it in that moment, it would throw things off completely. So considering the way I feel about TBRs, now that I've blabbed my personal qualms about TBRs, I want to attempt to finish these books by the end of the year. I did already meet my Goodreads goal. Everything now to the end of the year is fair game. I will say that I am feeling myself to be more of a fantasy, sci-fi, magical realism type of mood. I'm not so much feeling the literary fiction at the end of the year. And that makes a lot of sense considering it's been a long year. A lot of stuff is going on. And my brain is just ready to disassociate, right? We're ready to think about all the things that are different from this world and its political climate and all of the ridiculousness that I have to hear on a day-by-day daily basis. So now that you know how I feel about TBRs and the mood reading and all of that stuff that complicates the fact that I'm probably going to fail this little challenge for myself. But here we go anyways. I have chosen 10 books that I want to finish off by the end of the year. I also have 6 alternates on the side. And I'm going to talk to you about the alternates when I talk to you about the actual genre that we're in. Because if I don't feel like reading that book in that genre, then I could switch it out for the standby, like the alternate. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I have 10 major books and then 6 alternates in case I want to switch them out. Whatever. Just go with it. Just trust me. I think it'll make sense later. Just for the record, I am trying this, but I'm expecting to fail. And so I am giving myself all the grace in the world, okay? I have a really busy day job. I'm in charge of a lot of humans. I am going to do my absolute best, but I'm probably gonna fail. And that's okay, because life. So 2026 is going to be the year that I prioritize my writing career more. I've put all of my passion projects on the back burner for decades now to try to get my day job career off the ground. I've done that. I've done the work. I'm girl bossing very close to the sun. At this point, I'm trying to pump the brakes and figure out how I got there. But in the meantime, I really do want to put more energy into my passion projects and things for myself in the next years. It's definitely one of my goals. So the very first book that is on my list that I want to finish by the end of this year is a nonfiction book. It is a reference book on writing and kind of a memoir as well. It's On Writing by Stephen King. So this book is supposed to be kind of a mix of a memoir, mix of like helpful tips for getting started in writing. I think I saw that there was like a bunch of books that he recommends for you to read. I actually want to take the time to annotate this. Stephen King is obviously a goat in the literary world, doing his thing for thousands of decades. This man is going strong. And I'm hoping that I will learn a lot from this book. So this is my only nonfiction on this whole entire TBR. And I will make this a priority. So for the next category of books that I'm trying to get through this year, I've got 3 sci-fis. So the next set of books that I have on the list, It's a set, but I'm counting it as one because I really, really want to try to finish the series this year. And that is Dark Age and Lightbringer from the Red Rising series. This is book 5 and book 6 from the Red Rising series. I am trying to get through these puppies before the end of the year because honestly, there's so many other series on my list and I'm refusing to start them until I finish this. So I am going to be tackling these big boys, and they are big boys, the end of this year. I do a tandem reading and listening to the audiobook. So and I already have the audiobook, so I'm really hoping that I can get through these this year and finish off the Red Rising series to where we have it. So that way when the next book comes out, I'm all good and I don't feel like I have to like rush anything. So wish me luck with these big boys. The next one that I'm going to try to get through is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. This was a recent purchase and it wasn't on my radar until literally everybody and their mothers started talking about how hilarious this book is. And that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for disassociation. I'm looking for fun. I'm looking for funny. I'm looking for witty. I'm looking for smart. I'm looking for a good time. I'm not trying to learn much. I'll do that with the writing book. I want to dissociate. I want to have a good time. So this is the next book that I am thinking about. I'm hoping that it's good. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what this has to offer. I didn't pick up the rest of the series, but if this is good, I will be running to a bookstore to get the others. The next genre that I have on this 10 before the end, believe it or not, I threw a romance in here. And I did it on purpose because I have so much I have heavy sci-fi, I have some horror in here, and I've got a really heavy fantasy that I'm in the middle of. And so I was like, I'm probably gonna need like a palette cleanser in the middle of all of this. So the romance that I chose for this 10 before the end is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I have heard that this is cutesy. You have I think it's a single mom that has a kid, and the kid calls in the radio station trying to find her mom like a boyfriend, and then like hijinks ensue. It sounds like light and fluffy, and it's usually not my jam, but considering that I have some really heavy books on this TBR, I think I'm gonna need something to kind of break that up, something fluffy. And usually my two genres that I use as palette cleansers are romance and thrillers. So I have this romance, I have a thriller on here, and I'm kind of going to use that to kind of break up the heavy stuff that I am reading at the moment. Now, I did say that I had a couple of alternates on the side. So my alternate romance, if I don't feel like reading that romance, is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I like Emily Henry. I read 2 books of hers and they were good. So I think I will like Happy Place as well. I tend to like her writing. I think she writes smart characters. Again, not a romance girly, but she's been doing well. I think my favorite romance writer right now is Abby Jimenez. I love all her books, but I've read all of them. So I am going to use this as my alternate for romance. The next genre that we'll talk about is literary fiction. Now, I have 1 book on my actual 10 before the end, and then I have 2 alternates just in case. And I've already started it, so I may not need the alternates. And that is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. So this book is about a family of 4 sisters. They're all very different in personalities. They're pretty much all over the place. And then one of them dies. And now I think we're going to explore the relationship with the sisters and each one of their relationship with the sister that passed away. I just started it. We're just in the beginning where I'm just starting to get the personalities of the sisters who are left and how they're dealing with the grief of the sister that has passed away. And so far I like it. Again, it's literary fiction. It's heavy. And I'm also alternating this with a heavy thriller and a heavy fantasy. So again, I think I'm gonna need something to kind of break this up a little bit, but it's going well so far. We're very much in the beginning, and I'll keep you posted on the wrap up of how this goes. But this is the lit fiction that we have for the 10 before the end. I have 2 alternates to literary fiction. If I don't get through that, one of them was a softie enough a few years ago, and I realized that I left it as a softie enough, so I was like, well, I could try to pick that up. And that is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. I did finish some of that, like that old bookmark is still in there. And then something happened that I wasn't like in the mood to continue the story. And so I softy enough it, and it was like, I'll get to it at a later date. So if I don't get through Blue Sisters, I have this as an alternate. And then I also have the classic, because I'm trying to get through it, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I read another book by Margaret Atwood, and I enjoyed her writing, so I think I'm going to enjoy this. It's been on my TBR forever, but because I'm reading another book that is, I think, heavily influenced by this, I feel like I need to bring this back up to the TBR. So these are my 2 alternates in case Blue Sisters doesn't go through, but I may just read them anyways, because who knows what kind of mood I'm going to be in. So the next book that we will talk about on my 10 before the end is a thriller. And I did already start it, and I really do like it. I'm in the very beginning, but it's really, really good. And that is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This is a story about the fathers of 2 married gay men who were brutally murdered, trying to figure out who did it and why. I'm in the very, very beginning. I do like the writing. So I do have a mini book club that's almost non-existent called Chapters and Chisme, and this is the book that we chose this month. So for sure I'll get this done. If for whatever reason I don't, I do have an alternate. The alternate book I have for a thriller is called Kiss the Girls by James Patterson. James Patterson has been in the game for what seems like 1,000 years. He has been writing forever. I think he runs a team of writers that help him write, so he like pushes out a lot of books every year. But I think this is one of the very beginning books that he had. Now this book I technically already read. I remember reading this as a teenager and liking it a lot. Now the themes in here are not for teenagers, but I read it as a teenager. Take it as you will. And this book is like the second book in the Alex Cross series, where you follow a detective who is trying to catch like sadistic serial killers. The detective is also like a psychoanalyst or a psychotherapist or something like that. So he's able to like get into the minds of like the serial killers and stuff like that. In preparation for rereading this book, because I really wanted to reread the book since I know that I liked it as a teenager, and I was like, well, let me see if I like it as an adult. I read Along Came a Spider earlier in the year. Now, I have to tell you something. I think Along Came a Spider was one of his very first works. And I struggled with like sentence structure and like dialogue and just overall genericness of it. It almost was like someone was trying to write an episode, like a bad episode of like Law and Order. The story was good, and I was very much engaged in the story. It's just the dialogue and the syntax and the structure of the book. I had a really hard time like enjoying that aspect of that book. But that book was like written like, I think the 70s or 80s. It was one of the very first books in his career, and his very first book of the Alex Cross series. So, you know, I can't really judge the rest of the series on that one book. In fact, this book series has become multiple movies, and now it has a TV show and has like a whole cult following. So we obviously know that these are good stories. It's just that one book kind of threw me off because I was like not expecting it to feel unpolished, if that makes sense. But it's fine. I am hoping that his second book in the series is a bit better, because that's what we do. That's what we do as we grow as people, right? And obviously the man knows what he's doing. James Patterson doesn't need me to tell him anything. The man is doing the thing, okay? But I'm just it's just my opinion. You don't have to listen to me at all. Since I read it as a teenager and I really liked it, I wanted to read it again and see how it's doing. And I started it and then I soft DNF'd it earlier in the year. And so I figured if I need an alternate, I could pick this one up and finish it finally. The next two books that I am hoping to read before the end of the year land in the horror section, and they're both by the same author. So it's Slewfoot by Brom, which is giving very fall vibes, very witchy fall vibes, and Krampus by Brom, that is giving wicked Christmas. And I am literally planning to read this during Christmas. So I have two Brom stories here that I'm hoping to get through by the end of the year. Why did I pick up two? I don't know. I don't have any horror alternates. We're just gonna fall and winter. We're just gonna do it. We're just diving right in. The very last genre that we're gonna talk about for my 10 before the end is, of course, fantasy. This is where I'm living right now. This is where I feel the most comfort right now. It's towards the end of the year. I want to disassociate as much as possible. I already said that. I'm standing 10 toes down. 10 toes down on the disassociating for the rest of the year. Just let it happen. Don't call me. Don't ask me nothing. I am busy doing nothing. The first book I want to talk about that is in the fantasy category is a book that's in a series that I absolutely love. It counts as fantasy. It counts as graphic novel. It counts as Greek mythology. It counts as just like a regular good time. I've been waiting for a great time to like just sit down and devour it, and that is the 9th book in the Lore Olympus series. I love this little web cartoon based book. It's the series that you can see right there. It's based on the story of like Hades and Persephone with a nice little twist on it. It's very adorable. I love the graphics. It's just a good time. It's just a good time. And I've been waiting for like a time where I just have nothing to do and I can just sit down and just like eat this up. And yeah, I think this is number 9 of 10 books that's going to be released for this series. And I am all here for this. My alternate to that graphic novel that I probably would do also as well, in addition to, instead of, is the second book of the Naruto series. Now, I am a huge Naruto fan. It's one of my favorite animes. I have a lot of Funko Pops, a lot of like little collector's edition things for Naruto. I have the entirety of the manga series. I just haven't read through all of them. I'm obviously a big fan, and so I need to get through Naruto, right? Like I just have to. I have to consume the manga like I consumed the anime, so I need to get on it. This is number 2 in the series, and I am trying to make it a conscious decision to pick up a book in between some of these bigger books. It's just been a little difficult because obviously I can't audiobook these while I'm driving the thousands of hours to and from work. So I put it on the back burner, but I do want to get 1 or 2 done by the end of the year. I am a big fan, as you can see. I also have my anime husband on my pants today. That is Kakashi Sensei. If you know, you know. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to get through a couple of these throughout the year so I can try to get the actual manga done. Because, you know, I feel incomplete. Like I feel incomplete. Like I've got the anime, but I feel like I need the manga to solidify my love, you know? Just feel like it's necessary. And the last book on my 10 before the end, and I stopped counting because obviously there's more than 10, is the book that I am currently in the middle of. I am devouring this. It is a thick book, and I am 51% through, and I am having the absolute time of my life. I am crying, screaming, throwing things at the wall, and that is Alchemized by SenLinYu. This book, listen, I'm the biggest Harry Potter fan. I'm such a Potterhead. My Christmas tree that I'm putting up today for the holidays is Harry Potter themed. I am the exact millennial Potterhead person that people talk about. Like, that is me. That is me. I'm refusing to let it go, okay? So when I found out that there was a fanfic about Draco and Hermione that was turned into a traditional published book, and there's so much hype around it, I was like, you know what? 'Tis the season. Let's do it. And I started this a week ago. This is so heartbreaking and yet so nostalgic at the same time. Obviously, for the traditionally published version, you're not using the same names of the Harry Potter characters. You're obviously not in the same wizarding world, but you are in something adjacent. So obviously the magic system is very different from the wizarding world, and this one we have something that is based on alchemy, which if you're familiar with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or the original, you'll hear the same kind of terminology, right? Transmutations, alchemy, obviously, chimeras, that sort of thing. It's kind of like that, but done differently. I don't know, but it's Full Metal Alchemist is what I keep referring to when there's like a new term that's brought up, and I'm like, okay, that's what I think of. Anyways, I'm not sure that's what was the plan, but that's what I'm doing. This story is, so far, I'm only halfway through, but it's like so heartbreaking, and it's just so good. I'm feeling for all of the characters. I'm screaming at the pages and at my headphones when I'm audiobooking. I'm doing a tandem where I'm reading and audiobooking at the same time so I can enjoy it from both ends. I'm having a great time. I'm having an amazing time. This is a long ass book. I would have finished 3 other books in the meantime where I've been 50% through here, but I am taking my time and enjoying this book, and this is probably setting the tone for the rest of the year. I am eating it up. This is so far, I'm having a great time. Okay, so this will definitely be done by the end of the year. And my last alternate to fantasy is me trying to start a very long series, The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. Now, this is book 1 in the Discworld series. Now, I'm starting to collect the Discworld series. I think it's going to be something that I really, really like. It's got kind of a lot of elements that I look for in like a fantasy, magical realism type of series. You've got series within series. And I kind of just wanted to start the series finally. There's, I think, 40 or 50 something books in the entire series. The author has sadly passed away. So the one book that I did consume of Terry Pratchett was co-written with Neil Gaiman, and it's called Good Omens. There's a TV show on it. I'm really excited to start this and see if I like the Discworld series. I mean, I hope so. I picked up a lot of the books. I kind of did that out of order. I know. But you know what? I got really excited. They're just like, they're bite-sized, you know, tidbits of this entire world that he created, and I was intrigued, and I think I should start this off, right? Yeah, we should start this off. So there you have it. This is my ridiculous attempt at having a TBR for the end of the year. I have 11, but I'm counting them as 10 before the end on my main list with 6 alternates just in case, because my mood reading taste tends to go all over the place. And what can I tell you? I know that this is going to be difficult, but I'm attempting anyways. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I either will do absolutely wonderfully or I will fail miserably. And either way, the world is going to turn and everything's going to be just fine. So thank you for coming back to my channel. Thank you if you just stumbled upon me. Thank you for just being you and just, you know, just doing all the things that, you know, make you you. Hope you're having a great day. You look great. Your butt looks nice. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. I hate that you can see like the light in my glasses, but without that, I cannot see. I am a blind hoe. So we're gonna just